Our experience of Bach's music is as wide and as unique as the music of Bach himself. I'm Steve Starrick with a series of personal stories from Bach Society of Minnesota performers, participants in the cantata workshops, and our listeners. Heilman is a tenor and has sung with Bach Society for the last 9 seasons. He's coming from a job, a hard-working musician. Roy, thank you for being here. You're dressed beautifully.
Thank you.
I understand that you love the challenge of singing Bach, and because I sense that you're a competitive kind of person. Is that correct?
It's correct, yes.
And one of your favorite roles is singing the evangelists in the St. Matthew and St. John Passion. Talk a little bit about what goes into singing the role of the evangelist in these passions.
It's a lot of preparation. It's all recit. It's very little.
In other words, you don't get any arias to sing.
You don't get arias. You get some smaller aria-esque moments, and that's all. So it's all basically spoken word on music, and that's a notorious challenge for singers. That alone is a challenge, and again, all the demands that Bach writes into the music at other times, the evangelist, while not singing long lines and long phrases in the same way, gets all of the same challenges as far as demands on the vocal range and demands for emoting vocally and finding lots of colors and things like that. So it's a challenge.
And you love challenges.
I love challenges. If I didn't, I wouldn't keep trying to sing Bach. So there's that. But I am of mostly German heritage, a lifelong Lutheran, ethnic Lutheran, you might say. And so what Bach wrote was also personal, a lot of very personal output there. He also wrote it, instead of making a name for himself, just wrote it for his own liturgical purposes. So that German ethic of the story, the Bible story being first and foremost important, strung throughout in the language of the people, is something that I identify with, and it's a connection I feel back
with your ancestors.
With my ancestors. I really do imagine my ancestors being, in a service like this. Probably the odds are they weren't in Bach's church, but sitting through the likes of 3-hour Good Friday service or whatever it was.
Mm-hmm. Roy, you've mentioned the challenge of singing the evangelist roles in the Passions. I'm wondering, how has the hard work of incorporating those stories and that music into your voice, into your person, how has that changed how you look at other works by Johann Sebastian Bach?
Well, in order to really learn the evangelist part, at least for me, I had to go through and start completely from scratch. And start with the text, then learn the music, studying along the way how Bach fit the music to the text. And so spending enough time with that, kind of in a general way, start to understand the ways that he treats the text, certain moments in the narrative or sometimes the poetry when it comes to other music, and sort of understand how he does things expressively, for instance, and things like that. So then singing other music, I've developed a whole new way of understanding and looking at other pieces and the way he set the texts in other pieces.
It sounds like you've learned the language of Johann Sebastian Bach that much better.
That much better. I wouldn't say I've learned it because there's a lot to mine out of it. Yes, it's an ongoing process.